I want to verbally apologize to all my Roman Reigns fanatics out there. I want to verbally apologize. Please mark this date down. Please mark this video down. All the hatred that I have for Roman Reigns, and all the hatred that I'm sure I will continuously give him throughout the rest of this year, going into next year's main event against Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. All of the hate that I am about to give Roman Reigns over the next 6 months, I want you guys to put that to the side right now. The words that are going to be uttered out of my mouth in just a few seconds, I want you to remember them, and I want you to take them to your, I don't know what you do with half of the shit that I say here, but I want you to take it, I want you to store it in your little jewelry box at home, or I want you to stuff it under your pillow at night, and I want you to remember this for when we talk about this clown again on Tuesday, and whatever plans WWE has for this asshole, okay? I would take Roman Reigns as WWE Champion and Universal Champion at the same time simultaneously than ever seeing Jinder Mahal carry around another championship in this company. I don't know how, and I don't believe I'm starting this review off with Jinder Mahal, because this is the one thing that just stands out. We just seen Shane McMahon dive off a 20-foot cage and nearly kill himself. Sami Zayn just turned heel, right? We had a fantastic tag team championship Hell in a Cell match, which could have been the main event on any show if you wanted it to, right? I'm here talking about Jinder Mahal to start this review. Why? Why are we talking about Jinder Mahal? Oh, but JD, he's such a good heel. Oh, but JD, he's got the look of a champion, man. The look of a champion? The look of a champion? You're in there with one of the best that this world has to offer in Shinsuke Nakamura, and you can't garner any reaction from the fucking crowd? Like, I don't understand that. How can the people that book this show, how can the people monitoring this show from gorilla position be pleased with what they seen and the lack of what they heard during a WWE Championship match? You know, it's come to a point, no matter how good the storyline was between Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens, you know, we've come to a point now where the WWE Championship is being contested before a Dolph Ziggler-Bobby Roode match on pay-per-view. No, but you don't seem to find that to be an issue. There's no issue with that, right? You don't have a problem with that. I do. I got a lot of problems with Jinder Mahal being the WWE Champion. I would take anybody in this company right now. I'd give the WWE Championship to Mike Chioda over Jinder Mahal. Seriously. I'd give, you know, that fucking stoic-looking guy in the front row who's always there, right? The guy with the long hair that's always sitting there with his mother. I'd give him the WWE Championship before Jinder Mahal. Why are we still here talking about Jinder Mahal being the WWE Champion? How can anybody be pleased with the result that we've seen tonight from this pay-per-view? How many of you canceled your WWE networks? In fact, I urge you to cancel your network subscription until things change with this clown. I am urging you. This review will get 50,000 easy by the end of this YouTube 48-hour cycle, when this video is trending and hot and searchable and all that shit. A lot of you are going to be seeing this. I urge every one of you to cancel your network subscriptions. Until Jinder Mahal loses the title, I don't want anybody subscribed to the WWE Network. Now, I have to be, because this is what I do. This is what I do. But the fact that we seen Shinsuke Nakamura pinned clean tonight, I don't know. I don't believe Triple H has allowed this to happen. I don't believe Triple H has allowed this to occur with yet another WWE superstar who graduated from the blissful environment of NXT. What have we learned here tonight, people? What have we learned here tonight? It's the fact that WWE creative on the main roster is the epitome of garbage. Okay? I don't even know why you brought up Shinsuke Nakamura. If this is the best, I swear to God, if I was in front of a WWE creative writer or somebody with power in the WWE, the first question I'd ask these people is, how could you possibly be a creative writer, and this is the best thing that you have for Shinsuke Nakamura, in 6 months on the main roster? This is the best thing you got for him. Losing clean? Losing clean. to Jinder Mahal at Hell in a Cell. Losing by a distraction. Colossus at SummerSlam. This is the best you got for Shinsuke Nakamura. A guy who kicked heads off in NXT. A guy who was booked perfectly in NXT. A guy who was treated as a special attraction, must see, built the brand around type of guy in NXT. This is the best you got for him. This is the best you got for him. All for Jinder Mahal. Do you understand? Now, I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed. I'm agitated. I'm frustrated that talent like this is being wasted. And then you got the guys who are saying, the payoff is coming. The payoff is coming. What payoff? What payoff? The payoff now, if there is one, is not going to mean anything. Because we had to suffer through 2 matches with Mahal and Nakamura already. We already had to see Nakamura lose twice to Jinder Mahal. What payoff? How is this going to be any type of payoff? Are you going to be excited when he wins the title? I'm not. His first title win over Jinder Mahal. Yeah, I'm really excited about that one. They took the essence of Nakamura and they've ruined him at Hell in a Cell. They've ruined him. They've ruined him. I don't believe Triple H has allowed this to happen. Now, I want you to envision this. And I don't want to talk about this too much longer. Because I got other shit I want to talk about. Asuka's being brought up from the main roster. If they've treated Shinsuke Nakamura this poorly, can you imagine what they're going to do to Asuka on Monday Night Raw? Can you imagine how mistreated Asuka is going to be on the main roster on Monday Night Raw? You know, who's next in line on SmackDown Live to be ruined? That graduated from NXT, that got over, and by over, I mean insanely over. Bobby Roode's next, I'm sure. Bobby Roode is next, right? Who's going to be next after Bobby Roode? Everybody that comes up from NXT is going to die a proverbial death on the main roster. I don't get it. I don't get it. I urge every one of you to cancel your network subscriptions. I'm not even talking about the WWE Championship match tonight. I'm not. There's no reason for me to talk about it. We knew Mahal was going to win, and I want it to sink in. I don't think it's sunk in with everybody. We have, and I know they're touring India, we have at least another 6 months with this bullshit. There's no doubt in my mind Mahal is carrying the title to WrestleMania. There's no doubt in my mind. I, at this point, would be absolutely shocked if Jinder Mahal loses the WWE Championship for WrestleMania. Guarantee you WWE is going to book Mahal and Cena at WrestleMania and Cena win the Big 17 at WrestleMania. Guarantee it. There's no other way around it. Because if they wanted something special for WrestleMania, that ship is long gone. I don't even give a shit anymore. Nakamura, AJ Styles, which is the proverbial main event that everybody wants, we ain't getting it. We ain't getting it. We ain't getting it. Nakamura is worth more than a interim 2-month title reign from Royal Rumble to WrestleMania. If that, you know? But I don't even think we're going to get that. I don't even think we're going to get that. And the kicker is, this is the kicker here, people. We had Shinsuke Nakamura beat John Cena and Randy Orton in the same month. But he can't beat Jinder Mahal? I'm still waiting to find an answer for myself because I'm speechless right now. I don't get it. I don't get it. Shinsuke Nakamura is B-U-R-I-E-D. Buried. There's your spelling quiz for today. How do you spell buried? Nakamura. There you go. Anyway, this is your Hell in a Cell review. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about anymore. I'm so fucking pissed off. Review and results for tonight's show. This is October 8th, 2017 from the Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, Michigan. Little Caesars Pizza sponsored Hell in a Cell. No wonder. The pay-per-view was garbage just like the fucking pizza. Pretty sure anybody who actually was served Little Caesars Pizza tonight had a more enjoyable time eating that shit pizza than they did watching this pay-per-view. I know I would have. Little Caesars. Little Caesars Pizza. Hell in a Cell was one of those shows, guys, where it was just a show that started off hot and took you on a roller coaster at Rye Playland, up and down, up and down, up and down. You know? It was one of those shows. Started off incredibly hot. Started off great, actually. With the Tag Team Championships with the Usos and the New Day. And then all of a sudden, you seen the fucking roller coaster in, what was it, Final Destination 3, where the shit just comes off the tracks? That was Hell in a Cell tonight. You know? where that teenage girl's having premonitions of gas leaks and fucking broken beams and pipes. That was Hell in a Cell as the fucking roller coaster was flying off the tracks. Everybody fell to their fucking fiery death. That was Hell in a Cell tonight, mid-show. Then all of a sudden, we get Shinsuke Nakamura being pinned clean. And then after that, you know, what was the worst scene in Final Destination? The fucking airplane, right? The airplane blowing up in number one? Because I'm fucking terrified of flying. So there you go. That was Hell in a Cell at the end of the Shinsuke Nakamura Jinder Mahal match. It was the airplane scene in Final Destination 1. Then we got Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler after the WWE Championship match, and the crowd was completely dead. Then all of a sudden we woke up. We woke up from our fiery graves in the main event of this pay-per-view with Shane McMahon and Kevin Owens. It was one of those up and down shows where it didn't know what it wanted to be, you know? Riding on tumultuous seas. You know, I felt like a fucking pirate out there. Ridiculous. But I wouldn't say it was a disastrous show. The stuff that was good was actually excellent. The stuff that was bad was really bad. So, it was a swing and a couple of base hits tonight. And when WWE struck out, they fucking struck out in the most embarrassing fashion. It was one of those shows, man. But Hell in a Cell, we knew it wasn't really going to be anything outside of, you know, a two-match pay-per-view with the two matches being inside the cage. You had the Usos and the New Day, and then you had Shane and Kevin Owens in the main event. But everything in between, man, you could have missed it. You didn't miss anything at all. And I'm being brutally honest with you. Everything in between. They opened with the tag team title match, and they closed with Shane and Kevin Owens. Everything in between, if you missed it, you didn't miss anything. That's my review of Hell in a Cell. But let's get on with the review, man. I don't want to waste too much of your time. Thank you guys so much for watching me tonight. This video is being sponsored all weekend, actually. The channel is being sponsored by Fight TV. Please go down to the description and download the Fight TV app using my unique link down in the description. And Fight TV offering you guys free wrestling events, Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling each and every week. You can order pay-per-views directly through the Fight TV app, and you only pay, or you only get what you pay for, man. There's no hidden fees. There's no bullshit around it. Fight TV is the best place for you if you guys want to watch Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling. So make sure you guys go and download that. You guys can actually order Bound for Glory through that. You can order all the Ring of Honor pay-per-views through that. You can order New Japan, I believe, through that as well. So make sure you guys download the Fight TV app down in the description below. I want to make sure everybody is aware Off the Script was uploaded this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you guys missed anything about Off the Script this weekend, is live on the channel right now, man. We talk about Hell in a Cell on Friday. We talk about the role of Sister Abigail, and I book Sister Abigail perfectly on Saturdays Off the Script, and then on Sundays Off the Script, we talked about why WWE does not need a women's championship for the tag team division of this new thing that they got going on. They want to make women's tag team championships, not needed. And I talk about why WWE does not need to have a women's Royal Rumble, as it would just make the men's Royal Rumble a watered down, another match that it's going to be one of those things where you're going to lose prestige in the men's Royal Rumble. You only need one Royal Rumble. And I go into it really, really in-depth on Sunday's episode of Off the Script. No women's Royal Rumble, no women's tag team championships. I go into all that on Sunday's episode of Off the Script. Let's start off with the New Day and the Usos, man. Both teams are the best thing on WWE television right now. And I don't really sit here and proclaim that I'm a fan of the New Day week in and week out. I appreciate their talent. I think they're a very, very good team. The New Day and the Usos have been doing the best work on WWE television by far between both brands. They opened up the show inside the cage, and both teams started out grabbing kendo sticks, and they went after one another. The New Day had these colorful, rainbow, bright-esque kendo sticks, and the Usos had just generic, plain kendo sticks, no color to them. They didn't give a shit. They just wanted to beat the shit out of you. Xavier Woods and Big E for the New Day. Kofi Kingston, who I thought was actually going to be in the cage, being that he's more athletic than Xavier Woods, he was on the outside. So it was Xavier Woods and Big E for the New Day. Big E started off doing his signature dive through the cage. He hit the side of the cage. He missed. He missed. That was only attempt number one. He missed, and he hit himself on the side of the cage. Jey Uso did a beautiful dive to follow up right after Big E attempted another one of his suicidal dives and nailed his head on the side of the cage, but connected on the way down with Jey Uso. 3 minutes into the match, we're already hearing "This is awesome" chants. I mean, really, Detroit? Let these guys get into the 10-15 minute range of this match before you start chanting "This is awesome." You know, you want to go see dives and flips within 3 minutes. I'm sure you could watch any Ring of Honor show and see dives and flips. You could go chant "This is awesome" there. This is WWE. Let there be weapons, tables, chairs, kendo sticks, blood before you start chanting "This is awesome." A little too premature, Detroit, please. Woods in the ring used what I thought was a version of Francesca. I believe he used the trombone. I think the announce team, called it Francesca 2 on Jimmy Uso. He then pulled out Francesca 3. So they were mock versions of his trombone Francesca. He did the same thing with 2 Francescas. So they had an orgy. They had an orgy with the Usos and Francesca. That's pretty much what they're telling you. They had a bunch of toys underneath the ring. They had a cowbell. They had a cowbell underneath the ring. Then they pulled out some sort of drum cymbal. It looked like one of them gongs, you know. And then after that, the Usos finally took advantage of the New Day's tactics, and they threw a steel chair directly at Xavier Woods' head. So they nailed him with a steel chair. That's probably one of the only few times you'll see a steel chair hit someone's cranium inside a WWE ring. You won't see someone literally take a steel chair and just aim for the head. But I guess throwing a steel chair at somebody's head is different, and it's allowed. I don't know. To me, it's the same thing. Big E, in the middle of the ring, he's a sacrificial lamb. He is receiving what I said is a caning from both the Usos. Back and forth, Big E just taking cane shots one after another with those kendo sticks. Woods was laid out on the outside, and he received a big splash against the cage. Rikishi style from one of the Usos. Now, in a move that could have broke Xavier Woods' leg or knee or both, Big E was on the apron here, and he did a rock bottom of sorts to Jey Uso, and Woods came in at the last possible second after getting up from being big splashed by Jimmy just a couple seconds ago. He gets up at the last possible second with a backbreaker on Jey Uso as he came down off the apron from the rock bottom delivered by Big E. It was one of those things that made you do holy shit, but more of a holy shit for Xavier Woods because he was obviously in visible pain after he delivered the backbreaker to Jey Uso. So they're both back in the ring. We got the midnight hour on the Usos for only a 2 count. So they delivered their finishing move on the Usos for only a 2 count. New Day then had their entire collection of colorful kendo sticks. Xavier Woods took out the whole slew of kendo sticks that they had wrapped up in this colorful tape. He's walking around ringside. Jey Uso was still selling the effects of the backbreaker. So they're nailing Jey Uso with the kendo sticks. New Day, then, in something that I've never seen before, locked Jey Uso against the cage with several kendo sticks, and he put the kendo sticks in between the cage slots. They pretty much trapped him in the corner, locked by kendo sticks. It was one against his face, it was one against his chest, and it was one against his tummy. So he was just stuck there for a little bit. He wasn't going anywhere for the time being. So Jey Uso eventually came free, saved his brother Jimmy in the ring from what looked to be a double foot stomp on the steel steps. So he was about to get face planted into the steel steps. He saved his brother from impending doom. Jimmy Uso held Big E on his shoulders in an electric chair position on the outside. Jey Uso did a suicide dive, threw Big E off his brother's shoulders. Followed up by a double superfly splash in the ring only for a 2 count on Big E. Then the Usos want to get kinky. They want to start using handcuffs. They try to handcuff both Big E and Xavier Woods. They handcuffed Woods. They handcuffed both his hands, and they put his arms around his head, or over his head, around the steel post. So Xavier Woods wasn't going anywhere. He was trapped. He was trapped. So the Usos both simultaneously take kendo sticks. It's like Xavier Woods was hanging on the cross, being crucified. He mimicked Jesus Christ here in a crucifixion pose as he was being caned by Jimmy and Jey Uso. It was a very, very visually pleasing spot for a Hell in a Cell match. So Big E was handcuffed as well, but he was not handcuffed to anything, but he was laying in the ring underneath the bottom rope, handcuffed. He tried to fight his way back. As they finished with Woods on the outside, they turned their attention to Big E. He tried to fight back. Big E was pissed. He was very animated in his delivery here. Big E had both Usos on his shoulders at one time and rammed both of them into the side of the cages. Not at the same time, but back to back. Big ending to Jimmy Uso for a very close near fall. And this is where the end of the match comes in, folks. Double super kicks and a double superfly splash. And somehow, out of nowhere, Woods makes the save. I don't know how he got his arms over the turnpost like he did, but he did make the save. I thought it was new champions, to be honest with you. I didn't even think Xavier Woods was going to come back and free himself from that spot. I thought we were going to get new champions there. Woods, though, paid for his troubles. He was kendo sticked while he was still handcuffed. He couldn't really throw a full-on punch. He was still handcuffed. They placed a steel chair across Woods' chest, double superfly splash, and 1, 2, 3. 3 seconds later, we have new tag team champions. You guys want a Hell in a Cell that lives up to being Hell in a Cell? This is the match. This was the first ever tag team championship match inside Hell in a Cell, and I hope it is not the last. The fact that we got the New Day and the Usos, two teams that have been absolutely at the top of their game in 2017, hopefully bringing prominence back to the Smackdown tag team division. One can only hope. This was a huge stepping stone for the tag team division on SmackDown Live. Now, my only question here is, where do they go from here? The Usos are 5-time tag team champions now. I reported back a couple of months ago that WWE is so high on the New Day that they don't mind flip-flopping the titles back and forth because the New Day already hold the record for the most days as reigning tag team champions. WWE wants to make the New Day the tag team with the most titles held in the history of the company. It looks like they're heading in that direction. But how much longer can these two teams battle it out without there being any other competition on SmackDown Live? I don't mind it. If we're getting matches like this, I certainly don't mind it. But this is not going to last forever. Now, the New Day lost. They have a rematch clause. I'm sure we're going to see a rematch clause. How is anything that these two teams are going to do going to top this? You can't. You can't. This was the end-all, be-all for this feud. But we're still going to get more New Day and Usos. No question. Because there's nobody else on the SmackDown Live tag team roster right now. Outside of Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable. But they are not ready right now. So there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to get a New Day and Usos again for whatever's next. We're heading into Survivor Series next after TLC. You know, I don't know what's going on. But the New Day and the Usos is far from over. I just beg to question, how are they going to top what they did tonight? Because this was the best match on the entire show. And I knew it was going to be, and they did not disappoint. Rusev versus Randy Orton. This was a match that absolutely nobody cared about. I think my brother was falling asleep during this match. Orton, to start this match, attempted an RKO early, right out of the gate. Rusev seen it coming. He attempted his second rope DDT. Rusev seen that coming as well. Rusev had everything well scouted here. Rusev then had control of most of the match, grounding Orton for a better portion of half of the match here. Orton tried to get up, fight back up, and Rusev took him back down with a nice spinning heel kick. Both men were on the outside. Orton suplexes Rusev on the barricade until he was stopped. Rusev pretty much no-sold it. He was stopped by a devastating lariat by Rusev on the outside. Back in the ring, Rusev in control. Not for long, though. Rusev misses a big splash in the corner. Randy Orton fought back with all of his signature moves. Those stupid little short arm clotheslines that he does. And, you know, Rusev had attempted to block his vintage power slam. Randy Orton went for the power slam. He hit the mat. Rusev held the ropes, but Randy Orton got it anyway because he threw him into the ropes with an Irish whip and caught him with the power slam anyway. Rusev then countered a second rope DDT following all these moves. He countered the second rope DDT and turned a string of moves into an attempt of the accolade, but Randy Orton rolls to the outside. He's seen the accolade coming. Back in the ring, Rusev misses a big splash. Orton then hits a DDT on the third attempt. Finally, he tried that second rope DDT not once but twice. The third time he hit it, and he nailed it. Orton went for an RKO, but this was probably the best part of this match. Orton went for an RKO. And you know how Randy Orton hits the mat right before he does the RKO? So he did his setup for the RKO. Rusev rolls from behind. He rolls backwards, reverses Randy Orton's setup of the RKO into an accolade. Orton countered it and then hit the RKO anyway. Rusev is another one. How do you spell buried? Rusev. That's how you spell buried. No reason why Randy Orton should have won this match. Randy Orton has had a miserable 2017, and you can chalk that up to fighting Jinder Mahal 4 times for the WWE Championship. That didn't help his cause. Then they throw him into a meaningless feud with Rusev. Why is it that SmackDown Live can't get the idea that Rusev needs the victory more than Randy Orton? What is this going to do for Randy Orton? I don't understand why they couldn't give this win to Rusev. Randy Orton wins this and it ends the feud. And then Rusev moves on to what? Moves on to nothing. He moves on to nothing. Rusev Day! Yeah, the Day of Losers is what Rusev Day is going to be known for. You had Rusev Day, you had this big parade, you got the key to the city, and then you get Randy Orton in a 10-minute match, and you still can't beat him. Rusev is buried. I don't want to hear about Rusev anymore, man. What a disgrace. Rusev's a joke on SmackDown Live, and he was moved over there for opportunity away from Monday Night Raw. Little did he know he was moved over to SmackDown Live to be buried after coming back from a shoulder injury that kept him out for 4 months. Goodbye, Rusev. Go back to Lana, and please go have the kids that you want to have and get the fuck away from WWE. Obviously, they got no plans for you. Apparently, the KFC characters are going to be in WWE 2K18. Yeah, that's really going to make me go out and pre-order the game. KFC characters. You got the fucking Colonel and you got the Chicken as playable characters in WWE 2K18. I'd rather see the fucking Colonel as WWE Champion than Jinder Mahal. In fact, I'd rather see the Chicken dressed up as whoever, the WWE Champion, over Jinder Mahal. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. As soon as I get the game, I'm going to open that box, I'm going to pop that shit into my PlayStation, and Jinder Mahal is going to be the default WWE Champion in the game. I'm making the Colonel my default champion for SmackDown Live over Jinder Mahal. Watch me. I'll live stream it. United States Championship match, AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin versus, yes, the Perfect 10. Ty Dillinger was added to this match late. Don't know why they couldn't make this announcement on Tuesday. It made sense this Tuesday, last Tuesday, 3 Tuesdays ago, a whole month ago it made sense. Now they want to add it 30 minutes before the pay-per-view goes on the air. Why? We all knew this made sense. Why did WWE wait till the 11th hour to make this announcement? Why, you think it was going to be more epic when it was made on pay-per-view night? Instead of getting people excited about a United States Championship match that could have seen the graphic of Dillinger, Corbin, and AJ Styles? Come on, bro. I don't understand why they wait till the last minute to make these types of announcements. This match, to me, is a love-hate relationship, man. I absolutely hated the beginning of this match. It was absolutely fucking boring. The first 10 minutes of this match wanted to make me pull my eyes out and throw them against the wall and have my cat Bailey just fucking play around with them. This match was terrible. And then all of a sudden, we get the last 10 minutes of this match, and I'm like, is this the same match that I was watching? Why am I enjoying this now more than the first 10 minutes? Do you want to know why I enjoyed the second half more than I did the first half? It's because Baron Corbin is slowly dying in my eyes. Baron Corbin is worth so much more to me than what WWE is portraying him as. Seriously, his style is of a big man. And I even have that in my notes. Corbin's style is that of a big man. But I feel that WWE is holding him back from doing so much more, man. I don't want to see Baron Corbin. The guy's a fucking ex-football player. Why is this guy moving like Kane in the middle of the ring? Why? He's an ex-football player. The guy is athletic. I want to see this guy running around. The guy looks like fucking shit in the middle of the ring. You ever put syrup in the refrigerator after opening it up? And you want to fucking uncork that shit and pour syrup all over your fucking pancakes? How slow that shit comes out of the fucking tube? Right? That's Baron Corbin in the middle of the ring. He is as slow as fucking Aunt Jemima syrup coming out of the fucking, the plastic container. Waiting to fucking drizzle that shit all over your fucking pancakes. Are you serious? This is pathetic. I don't understand why they have him moving so slow and methodical in the ring. Headlocks and slowing the match down. You're in a fucking match with AJ Styles and Ty Dillinger. And you're slowing the match down to a fucking headlock in a triple threat match? I don't get it. Corbin actually made this match worse than anything I could have ever dreamed of, honestly. I would have rather... Corbin and the way he moved in this match for the first half, I would have much rather seen Styles and Dillinger in the United States Championship match going 20 minutes like this match went, instead of him being there ruining the whole fucking match. Awful. Absolutely awful. This match started out with Dillinger and Styles immediately coming to an agreement that their top priority was taking care of Baron Corbin. So they team up on Baron Corbin. Dillinger and Styles then go at it for a couple of minutes. And Dillinger tried to sneak a roll-up from behind on AJ Styles with Baron Corbin taken out of the match for the first couple of minutes. Corbin then pulls Styles' leg from the outside, gets back into the match with Dillinger on the outside, so they pretty much traded roles. Dillinger traded roles with Baron Corbin. Corbin launched Styles later in the match on Dillinger, and then throws Styles ribs first into the steel post. Styles was then thrown into the barricade and ultimately taken out of the match at that point. He flew into the barricade to the point where I thought he was going to injure his shoulder like Finn Balor did at SummerSlam last year. Again, Corbin's style is not something that I want to see him wrestle. You know, I understand he's a big man, but he doesn't have to wrestle like a big man. I wish he could mix that style with a little bit more sped up pace. This is what I've been saying this about Baron Corbin for years now, during his days in NXT. He really needs to wrestle the pace of his opponent instead of just slowing the entire fucking match down. Baron Corbin's going to be one of those guys where every time he wrestles, he's going to be a predictable character. His matches are going to be the same thing, night in, night out, week in, week out, and I don't want to see that. He's going to get boring very fast. And if he wants to be a WWE champion someday, he's going to have to change that quick. Styles goes for a Styles Clash on Corbin. Couldn't get him. AJ dives over the top rope for a slingshot forearm, but his second springboard is counted into a choke slam into a backbreaker by Baron Corbin. I thought AJ Styles' back was destroyed after that move. It looked like a botch. It looked like a botch, but they turned it around, and Baron Corbin tried to go for the near fall. 1-2, kick out. He was clearly frustrated after that. Ty Dillinger comes back in, kicks both guys in the face until AJ Styles Pele kicks him in the face. Ty Dillinger falls onto Baron Corbin for a close 2 count. I thought that was the end of the match right there. In fact, I would have made that the end of the match. I would have given the championship to Ty Dillinger tonight. But no, WWE had other plans. AJ Styles then does a springboard 450 that connected on Baron Corbin. Ty Dillinger makes the save. That earns Ty a phenomenal forearm, only to have Baron Corbin throw AJ out of the ring and kick him to the ring. Kick him out of the ring, actually, in a very violent fashion, by the way. Corbin kicks AJ out of the ring and steals the pin at 20 minutes. Baron Corbin and his thinned-out, grease-balled head wins the United States Championship. Baron Corbin, after dropping the briefcase and after being pinned by a sweaty Jinder Mahal, who just fought John Cena a couple of months ago on Smackdown Live, right? He now wins the United States Championship in what could be deemed as a redemption for Baron Corbin. What does this mean? Does this mean AJ Styles is going to be the one to take the WWE Championship off of Jinder Mahal? I certainly hope so. Either way, I hope somebody takes the title off of Jinder Mahal. As long as this moves AJ Styles out of the United States Championship title picture and into something where he belongs, the WWE Championship title picture. But I would have given Ty Dillinger the win here. I just don't see Baron Corbin as anything right now. Baron Corbin, to me, has been ice cold. He is still ice cold. I would have never given him the United States Championship right now. Maybe this is done to get his feet wet before they move him up slowly on the WWE ladder. But to me, I think Ty Dillinger deserves a note here, or at least a match somewhere down the line, or an opportunity with the United States Championship. You know, so I feel bad for Ty Dillinger. Hopefully, this is better things to come for AJ Styles. Baron Corbin is your new United States Champion in what was a shitty match for the first 10 minutes. The last 9.5 minutes were very, very good. So it was a love-hate type of thing with the United States Championship match tonight. In what was a 100% hate thing, Natalya versus Charlotte for the Smackdown Live Women's Championship. They showed a video package pre-match that was better than this entire match in itself. In fact, the video package was better than the entire lead-up and the match that they had tonight. I don't know why they made this match bigger and more important than it really was. This was Natalya, who is boring as a champion, against Charlotte, who WWE is pushing into the championship title picture to benefit off of Ric Flair's health. They want to get her as a babyface, so they figured, oh, let's build some sympathy for Charlotte as her father is deteriorating in some hospital somewhere. That's all that was. Both women went back and forth with some slaps to start the match. Charlotte went for a figure 8, which Natalya countered quickly to start the match. Natalya then worked on Charlotte's leg, which at this point I knew was going to be the storyline of this match. Charlotte's leg was going to be the storyline revolving around this shitty Women's Championship match. So they were setting up that leg for a sharp shooter on Natalya's behalf. Charlotte, after several minutes of having her leg worked on, fought back with chops, selling the leg injury, trying to strut her stuff like... let me rephrase that. She started to strut her stuff like Ric Flair with the leg injury, limping while doing it, strutting in the middle of the ring. Charlotte went for a moonsault, and Natty reverses it into a sit-out powerbomb. So with a bum leg, Charlotte goes to the top rope in the ring, and she attempted a moonsault. Dumb maneuver. Natty catches her and reverses it into a beautiful sit-out powerbomb for a near fall. Natty got the sharpshooter on Charlotte, and Charlotte reversed it and rolled Natty into the bottom turnbuckle. So Natty hit her head on the bottom turnbuckle. Charlotte then climbs to the top rope with Natty on the outside, and Charlotte executed a horrible looking moonsault, barely connecting with anything. It looked pretty while she was in the air, but when she came down, it looked god-fucking awful. My God. And people telling me Charlotte has the prettiest moonsault in all of wrestling. Where? When she actually connects with the moonsault, then come talk to me. Until then, to me, my opinion stands. She came down, she didn't hit anything. She's selling the leg injury on the way down. So Natalya, she gets up, she takes a steel chair, and intentionally got disqualified. More garbage in the weeks to come with this Charlotte versus Natalya feud. Are you serious? I didn't want to see it tonight. Now WWE is telling me that I'm going to have to see it again because Natalya, the champion, got herself intentionally disqualified just to keep the championship belt? Come on, bro. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't say the word belt. Title. Stupid fucking words that WWE's banned all across the announce team. Natty started yelling at Charlotte, "You're pathetic." You're pathetic. No, Natty. The SmackDown Live Women's Division is pathetic. Charlotte is too, but, you know, it is what it is. This match was terrible. Absolutely god-awful. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Jinder Mahal. What can I say here that I haven't said already in the beginning of the match? Jinder Mahal won. Clean. Jinder Mahal retained the WWE Championship clean. Someone in WWE hates Shinsuke Nakamura. How you could look back on this night and be proud of Jinder Mahal as your WWE Champion, I don't know. This is your guy. This is the guy you have at the top of the fucking card. Jinder Mahal. Who is paying a ticket to go watch Jinder Mahal for a SmackDown Live program? Absolutely nobody. Nobody. And the worst thing about this is the fact that Jinder Mahal got no fucking reaction during this match at all. The crowd was silent. It was so bad, Nakamura couldn't even muster up a reaction from this crowd. At this point, the crowd was worse than Corpus Christi, Texas at this point. Garbage. They were worse than fucking some hick town in Alabama. Garbage. If this is the reaction that Jinder Mahal is going to get, how could you even condone a World Championship title reign from this guy? This is your WWE Championship, and your champion's going out there getting no reactions from the crowd? The reaction from the crowd tonight was one of which I interpreted it as, get this fucking guy off of television, nobody gives two fucks about him. That's what I interpreted it as. This was awful. This was awful. This match, and how awful it was, and how awful Jinder Mahal was, bled into the next match. It bled into the next match. There was a botch immediately in this match. Nakamura went for a roll-up, it looked like, and Mahal botched it. He didn't roll through completely. Yeah, some WWE champion you got there. Lucky for Nakamura, he realized that Mahal was botching, and he turned it into a cross-arm breaker. Like I said, crowd was dead for this match, and it has everything to do with Mahal. The guy's fucking awful. People are realizing that he is dreadful as WWE champion. That's the only thing I can think of. Nakamura went for the Kinshasa, and Mahal rolled out of the way to the outside. Mahal took advantage by sending Nakamura into the steel post, and then into the front row by ringside. Nakamura fights up with a spinning heel kick to the head for a breather, followed by kicks to the chest. Running knee in the corner, gets a 2 count. Nakamura then adds a knee drop from the apron, only to bang up his knee once again, so the knee was a little minor issue here. back in, the Colossus, broken up. One of the worst finishing moves I think I've ever seen. For a WWE champion, that's your finishing move. The Colossus. Right? He can't even do that correctly. Yet this guy's holding a championship belt. Colossus broken up, followed by a middle rope knee to Mahal's chest. So then all of a sudden things start getting into the predictable territory. Cue the Cringe Brothers. The Singh Brothers come in for a distraction. Nakamura grabs a roll-up anyway. They're all over the place, jumping around like a bunch of clowns on the outside. 1 minute, they're both on the apron. The other minute, one of them's hugging Mahal and trying to pull him out of the rope. And then the next minute, they're running around ringside trying to distract the referee. It's all over the fucking place, man. The same outcome every single time. I knew this wasn't going to end good because at one point during the match, the referee had enough of this shit. He kicked both guys out. He threw them out of ringside. He sent them to the back. Nakamura gets a roll-up for a 2 anyway. Referee ejected the Cringe Brothers, and he hits the Kinshasa. He hits the Kinshasa on Jinder Mahal. The caliber of wrestler that Shinsuke Nakamura is, right? He hits the Kinshasa. Now, where Jinder Mahal landed, and the years that Nakamura has spent wrestling the greatest talent that this world has to offer, he nails the Kinshasa. At no point was Nakamura booked in this match to have any common sense. He nails the Kinshasa, makes the cover by the rope instead of pulling Mahal away from the ropes after he hit the Kinshasa for a 1-2-3. He hits the Kinshasa and he pins him right near the rope, giving Mahal all the time in the world to grab the bottom rope, breaking up the referee's 2 count. This is how you book Shinsuke Nakamura. Not only do you book him to lose this match, but you book him to look like a fucking retard. Seriously? So now Nakamura has no brains. On top of that, he's got 2 losses to Mahal and no brains. I don't understand this. This is what pissed me off. That is what pissed me off more than ending in this match. Never mind the clean victory. That's what pissed me off. You mean to tell me Nakamura doesn't have the ring presence to pull Mahal away from the ropes? Come on, man. No, but then people are going to talk about me in the comment section. Oh, JD, you're just reaching now. You're just complaining about anything. What the fuck did you watch? I know what I watched. Maybe you're blind. Take off the rose-colored glasses about Jinder Mahal and realize that the guy is fucking dreadful. God-awful. You know, I could take steroids too and in 6 months have a body like Jinder Mahal and maybe I could be WWE champion. Singh Brothers get tossed out. Mahal has the Kinshasa. 1, 2, 3, it should have been. Grabs the bottom rope. He goes for another Kinshasa. He goes for another Kinshasa. So you mean to tell me that the Kinshasa that's knocked out everybody in NXT, right? But on the main roster, it does little to no damage to Jinder Mahal. Normally when you get hit with a Kinshasa, you're out. You're not moving. Mahal gets hit with a Kinshasa, he's right back up, avoiding another one. What? He goes for another Kinshasa. So instead of hitting Mahal, he hits the second turnbuckle. Injures his knee. Turns it into a Colossus. 1, 2, 3. They book Mahal to win when the Cringe Brothers are tossed out from ringside. Mahal is your WWE champion, and I sit here speechless. Still, I don't think Shinsuke Nakamura can get any lower on the totem pole right now on SmackDown Live. Where does he go from here? Where does he go from here? Where's the payoff? Is there going to be another match? Is he going to win? Is he going to win the title at Starrcade when it's not televised? This is ridiculous, man. I am making a prediction right now. Jinder Mahal will be the WWE champion through the rest of 2017. We'll take it as it comes. But I can certainly see Mahal holding the title till WrestleMania. For whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know. If we have to deal with another, what is it? October, November, December, January, February, March, April, another 6 months of this garbage, I don't think there's going to be any ratings for SmackDown Live. I think SmackDown Live's ratings will be in the ones by the time WrestleMania comes, if this guy's still champion. The guy can't wrestle. The guy is not a good heel. Don't tell me that he's got his goons out there and he's playing his part. No. It's the same fucking ending every single time. He can't even wrestle. He's got one of the best guys to wrestle with in Shinsuke Nakamura, and you can't, and Nakamura can't bring him to a good match. At this point, either send Nakamura down to NXT, put him back down in NXT, so I can see McIntyre versus Nakamura, right? Or get him the fuck out of there. When is Nakamura's contract up with WWE? I would be shocked if he resigns with this company. Just based on the year that he's had in 2017, he's going to find his way back to New Japan, no question. No question. And then when he defects back to New Japan, I guarantee you're going to see a lot more people leave. How anybody could be pleased with the booking of Shinsuke Nakamura right now, or how anybody could be hopeful about the booking of Shinsuke Nakamura right now, has got a few screws loose. This is terrible. Absolutely terrible. Remember what I said about this WWE Championship match? How Mahal ruined the entire mood of the crowd? Yeah, it bled over into the next match. Not only did we have a Bobby Roode-Dolph Ziggler match following the WWE Championship, on what planet would that ever happen? Right? WWE Championship's usually main eventing the show. Now it's third from the top. Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode following a WWE Championship match. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, zero reaction for Bobby Roode in this match. Yeah, he had the pretty entrance. He had the glorious entrance. Everybody's singing along. It's fucking great, right? Zero reaction for Bobby Roode in this match. I love what they did with Dolph Ziggler here. They started to play his music. They cut it before he even walked through the curtain. He came out to no theme music. I loved it, man. He came out like old school Bob Backlund with no fucking theme music. Came out with no theme music. He didn't need an entrance. It was all about doing what he does best in the ring. It's a battle over entrances. Ziggler cuts off his own entrance, comes out to silence and no video. He actually got more displeasure from the crowd with the no music for the entrance than he did than he did for the entire buildup of this feud. So we got a headlock slowing Bobby Roode down. Roode snaps him up first with a choke slam over the top. Chops in the corner. Ziggler in control. We had a lot of submissions in this match. Ziggler tried to hold Bobby Roode down with a chin lock and a headlock, sleeper hold. It was a lot of ground-based submission moves here for Dolph Ziggler on Bobby Roode. And Roode starts to fight back up, sends Ziggler shoulder first into the post for his first major offense of the match. A swinging rock bottom, it looked like, gives Bobby Roode a 2. Ziggler then does a jumping DDT for the same. This was probably the interesting portion of the match here. Ziggler then went for the sleeper again. He went for what looked like a Bulldog Famouser-like combination. I think he went for a Famouser, but it turned it into a Bulldog. Gets 2 on Bobby Roode. Super kick is countered into a spinebuster by Bobby Roode. Bobby Roode's got one of the best-looking spinebusters in the business. Glorious DDT attempt countered into a roll-up to give Ziggler a 2, and they trade roll-ups. Each one of them hooking the tights along the way. They go from one corner to the other corner. Referee's getting tied up. 1, 2, 3. Bobby Roode's WWE pay-per-view debut ends in disappointment. Not because he lost the match, he won the match. But the match that these two could have had was very, very underwhelming. This was a very, very underwhelming match, man. So at the end of the pinfall, Dolph Ziggler hits the zigzag, walks away, and Bobby Roode is the winner here. Bobby Roode pins him with a roll-up from behind, hooking the tights at 11 minutes and 35 seconds. Justin LaBar made something of a mention on Twitter, how he thinks Bobby Roode is much better heel than he is a babyface. 1000% agree. I hate the smiling Bobby Roode. I want the Bobby Roode that's going to fucking kick your grandmother down and steal her groceries and run away. I want the manipulative Bobby Roode. I don't want this bullshit smiling to the kids and fucking shaking hands and fucking walking old ladies across the street Bobby Roode. No, I want the cocky prick Bobby Roode who wore $1,000 suits, who came out in fucking $5,000 shoes, you know, saying that I'm going to change NXT. This is going to be my NXT. I'm changing NXT for the better. What is Bobby Roode doing on SmackDown Live for the better? Nothing. Nothing. And that goes to the creative writing team. You know, somewhere the transition or the translation got lost between what happens on the main roster and what happens in NXT. You know for a fact, and this is why I said in the beginning of this review, this show is the epitome of SmackDown creative being god-awful. Watch NXT and how they do things. They do things right. These guys on the main roster think that Bobby Roode's got this overly babyface entrance, so let's make him a babyface. Well, he's got the fucking same theme music and the same entrance, even longer entrance in NXT, and they portrayed him as a heel. Why can't they do that on the main roster? Why? All of a sudden, he's got to be a babyface. We're going to see Bobby Roode smiling on SmackDown Live? Like, I don't understand that. Why did it work in NXT, and then why, when he made the main roster, it has to be changed? Why take something that's not broken and break it? I just don't get this logic here. And this goes to show you, no doubt in my mind that you got Vince McMahon and fucking Sabretooth over there, Kevin Dunn. They do not watch NXT. None of these guys, Michael P.S. Hayes, none of these guys watch NXT. Because if they did, Nakamura would be WWE champion, Nakamura would still be something special, and Bobby Roode would be a heel. Bobby Roode would be a heel. And don't give me the bullshit that John Cena left SmackDown so they needed another babyface to fill his role. Bullshit. Bullshit. You got more than enough heels on that roster. You got more than enough babyfaces on that roster. You didn't need to make Bobby Roode and take his character and ruin it on the main roster. Bobby Roode should be a heel. Fuck over this babyface shit, man. And in the main event, before we end this review, SmackDown has Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens headlining their Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. We all knew this match was going to be, by the way, this pay-per-view went well past the 11:30 hour. I don't know why. I don't know why. Secondly, they gave you at least an 8-minute video package highlighting everything about this feud. Why? We didn't get enough of that on the pre-show. You got to do it here. Prolonging this event even longer. Right? So then when we get to SmackDown Live, they're going to say, oh, this was the most tumultuous, epic, Hell in a Cell event in the history. Right? Yeah, sure. Tell that to Mankind and The Undertaker. We all knew this match was going to be on the outside because WWE pretty much said that. Hey, these guys are going to be on the outside of the cage on Tuesday night. Falls count anywhere. Match started on the outside before the bell even rung. Both men fighting in the aisleway. Shane went into the cage, immediately got right back up and did a tightrope clothesline, walking off the barricade onto Kevin Owens. Owens tried to lock himself in the cage like a chicken, and Shane kicked the door open in Owens' face. Finally, the ref locked the door, both men on the inside. Shane immediately went into the fence twice, Owens grinding his face like a cheese grater, ECW style, on the cage. After several minutes of beatdown here, Owens climbs to the top rope and attempts a top rope senton. Shane got the knees up. Had to hurt because it looked fucking painful. Shane fights back with his phantom fists. One of the worst fists in the business. His phantom fists, I don't know whether they're fucking landing or I don't know if he's fighting Casper the Ghost. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Maybe I should call Zach Bagans. Maybe he can find out where Shane McMahon's fists are landing. And then he nails a flying elbow. He then spiked Kevin Owens with a beautiful DDT. Shane then climbs the top rope and missed a hell of a fucking shooting star press. I would love to see him connect that. Shane McMahon is one athletic motherfucker for 48 years old, man. I'll tell you that. Owens then climbs the top rope and nails his frog splash after Shane missed his shooting star for a near fall. Owens starts yelling at Shane to stay down. He went for a pop-up powerbomb and Shane reversed it on the way down into a triangle choke. Triangle armbar. Very nice move there. They managed to get to the outside, and Owens broke it up by slamming Shane on the steel steps. So he pretty much had him in the armbar, the triangle choke, and Owens powered him up by one arm and slammed him on the steel steps on the outside. Crowd, for the second time tonight, started chanting, "We want tables. We want tables." WWE didn't give them tables all night, so Kevin Owens said, you know what? I'm going to make sure you guys get what you want, because you didn't get anything you wanted on this show tonight. So I'm going to give you tables. Owens pulls out a table from underneath the ring, and he does what he did with Seth Rollins inside Hell in a Cell. Same spot inside the Hell in a Cell he had with Seth Rollins. He props the table up slanted against the cage. He lays Shane McMahon on the table. He goes to the apron, and he runs off the apron, and he does a rolling senton cannonball through the table. Shane McMahon moved out of the way. Kevin Owens went right through the table. Very thin table. Sounded good. Had to hurt. You know, WWE with their prop tables. I don't give a shit how many people say, oh, they're just prop tables. That motherfucker got hurt on that, coming down. He hit table. He hit concrete. He hit cage. Kevin Owens was a bruised individual after that spot. Shane picked up one half of the broken table and started nailing Owens on the back 1, 2, 3 times. He then went underneath the ring and pulled out a trash can from underneath the ring. Owens back in the ring. Shane placed the trash can across his chest, and he executed a Van Daminator or Van Terminator, coast to coast. Pinfall attempt, but Owens grabbed the ropes. Shane looked up at the top of the cage. He was thinking, you know what, I think it's about time I start climbing this bitch. So he's looking up at the top of the cage. He tells the referee to unlock the door. The referee on the outside, the guard, guarding the door. Referee says no. So all of a sudden, Shane McMahon says, you know what, I'm going to take shit into my own hands. I'm going to do what I got to do. He grabs bolt cutters, which are just conveniently laying underneath the ring. Why are there bolt cutters? Why? If you know your Hell in a Cell match is your main event, and you're going to lock these two guys in the cage, if you're going to lock these guys in the cage, why are there bolt cutters underneath the ring? Does anybody ask these questions when you're watching this fucking garbage? Seriously. Did you ask it? Because I certainly did. Both men now fighting on the outside, right? So the door was eventually opened. Both men are fighting on the outside. Owens gets up. Desperation DDT to Shane McMahon on the steel ramp. Looked brutal. Owens then crotched Shane on the side of the open cage door. That had to hurt. They make their way over to the announcer's table on the outside of the cage. Owens starts rearranging furniture on the outside. He lays Shane on the Spanish announce table. Owens climbs the barricade, looking to do a frog splash or a mini tadpole splash through the announce table with Shane McMahon laying on it. And he looks up and starts climbing the cage. He says, no, barricade's not enough. He looks up, he starts climbing the cage. Owens is at the top of the cage. He's looking down. He's thinking about jumping off on top of Shane McMahon. He's punching himself. He's choking himself. He's having second thoughts, third thoughts. You know, you could have took a fucking, a whole shit while waiting for this guy to come to a decision, you know? So Owens is at the top of the cage, and Shane starts climbing up. So he backs away. He lets Shane climb up to the top. Now both men are on the top of the cage. Owens starts throwing punches. Shane stands up on top, right? Before Shane even reached to the top, before he even landed 2 feet on top of the cage, Owens starts throwing punches. Shane's fighting back, hanging off with one arm, starts throwing punches. So there's a huge brawl that ensues on the top. Shane hits a side Russian leg sweep on the top. Cage... I swear to God, I know you guys thought the same thing. I swear to God, I thought there was one portion of the top of the cage that was gimmicked. I really did. There was one portion of the top of the cage that looked sunken in, as if it looked very similar to what Mankind and The Undertaker did at the King of the Ring. There was one piece that was just sunken in. It looked like it was going to cave in. Whatever they were planning to do, it looked like it was going to fucking break, and somebody was going to go through the cage and land in the ring from the top. So, Shane suplexes Owens on top. That didn't do it. Owens body slams Shane. That didn't do it. Followed by a senton up top. I thought that was going to do it just with the weight of Kevin Owens coming down on Shane and the loose piece of cage. Because it looked like it was coming off his hinges. At this point, I was afraid for both. I was afraid of what if the cage did break at that point and both men go into the cage. Owens went for a powerbomb. Shane reversed it into a back body drop. At one point, Kevin Owens powerbombed Shane McMahon, and I thought it was going to happen. It didn't. And the way Shane McMahon took the powerbomb on top of the cage, he took that motherfucker and he made sure he bounced on that cage. Because I honestly think that portion of the cage was supposed to be gimmicked. And it didn't. The cage didn't break. So I think they had to call an audible mid-match here. So nothing broke. They stood on the top of the cage for a very long time, and very, 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 anticlimactic. Nothing really happened on top of the cage. A lot of teasing, but nothing big happened up there. It reminded me of you playing with your friend in WWE 2K17 with the Hell in a Cell match. That you immediately just break the cage, you go up top, and you try to do the coolest shit to make a memorable moment in that match. That's exactly what I thought here with these two guys. They stood up top so long, waiting for something to happen, and nothing happened. I think something was supposed to happen, but we didn't get anything. I think the cage fucked him over. So Shane grabbed, at this point after the powerbomb, Owens teased throwing Shane off the cage like Undertaker did Mankind. Shane grabbed Owens as he was about to be flung off the cage and avoided being thrown off. Owens then starts climbing down. Everybody's booing. Everybody's booing. They wanted to see a big spot. Shane follows. They both start climbing down. Both men on the side of the cell. Shane did enough damage. Punches and punches and punches. Owens falls back onto the Spanish announce table in what I said here in my notes was a pretty lame spot as far as Hell in a Cell standards go. In fact, the Singh brothers, one of the Singh brothers, had a better spot in the Punjabi prison match as he flew off the cage and went through a table. So this spot was definitely pretty lame for Kevin Owens. I didn't think this was going to be the big end-all, be-all spot for Hell in a Cell, but that was pretty lame for Hell in a Cell standards, you got to admit. After all that anticlimactic bullshit, all that teasing on top of the cage, that's the best that they got. But I'm not going to nail them too much on it because I think the cage was supposed to be gimmicked up top. And whatever they did while climbing down the cage, with Owens going through the Spanish announce table the way he did, I think that was a last-ditch effort and a reworking mid-match. It was an audible mid-match. I'm just throwing that out there. Shane, as he sees Owens down, starts to clear off the American announce table. So Tom Phillips, Corey Graves, and Byron Saxton get up. Starts to climb back up the cage, does Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon stands up top. He does the same exact elbow drop he did at WrestleMania 32. But all of a sudden, he crashes through the table. And Corey Graves is asking, where did Kevin Owens go? Sami Zayn was lurking underneath. And by the time Shane McMahon was in the air, he pulled Kevin Owens off the table so that Shane McMahon went through the table without delivering any elbow drop, and he landed right through the table. Sami Zayn, in the most vile, vicious act we've seen Sami Zayn play a part in, grabs a referee, starts telling and ordering and yelling the referee to count Kevin Owens on top of Shane McMahon. He drags Kevin Owens' lifeless body, puts him on top of Shane McMahon. 1, 2, 3. Kevin Owens wins with the help of Sami Zayn. If SmackDown Live was worth watching any week, it's going to be worth watching on Tuesday. Just to see why. Why, Sami, why? That was probably the saving grace for this pay-per-view. Sami Zayn ultimately turning heel, helping Kevin Owens. For what reason? They gave you a reason to watch SmackDown Live on Tuesday. Everybody loves Sami Zayn. Everybody wants to see Sami Zayn succeed. Everybody feels Sami Zayn has been underutilized for years on the main roster. Now, he has played a big part in the main event of Hell in a Cell, and we don't know why. He helped somebody that he has hated for years on WWE television, and we don't know why. They did one thing right tonight. They made you want to watch SmackDown Live on Tuesday. To me, that's a success. Overall, this was a thumbs down show. Shinsuke Nakamura losing clean made it a thumbs down show. You're not going to have a match at the top of the hour and a match to close the show be a thumbs up show. Everything in between, you know, the bread is an important part of the sandwich. But if you're going to have stale, shitty, dry meat in the middle of that sandwich, no lettuce, no tomato, no chipotle mayo or anything that you guys put on your fucking sandwiches, oil and vinegar, whatever the fuck you douse your sandwiches in. The middle portion of that sandwich, the meat and potatoes of this show, was terrible. You're not going to give it a thumbs up just because you had a great tag team title match and a decent Hell in a Cell closer with Shane and Kevin Owens with Sami Zayn playing a vital part in the main event, in the decision. If you're going to bypass everything that happened in the middle just because those two matches was great, you know, you're not really doing WWE any favors. You're actually adding to their shitty creative right. You're saying what we seen was okay tonight, and it wasn't. It wasn't. SmackDown Live has been terrible. This show proved that. SmackDown Live creative writers are the epitome of just bad writing. Hell in a Cell proved that tonight. Now, they did give you some interesting twists and turns for next Tuesday. What's going to happen with the Usos and the New Day, and what's going to happen with Sami Zayn. Other than that, there's nothing interesting to follow on SmackDown Live. This was a thumbs down show. The tag team title match was the best match on the show. Sami Zayn was the saving grace of this show. Good job, my favorite Uber driver. He played a vital part in the main event, in the decision, helping Kevin Owens, ultimately turning heel on Shane McMahon. That is your Hell in a Cell review. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter at JDFROMNY206 and hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for all notifications, man. I am JD. Thank you guys so much. I'll be back tomorrow with, I think, an off-the-script extra. I got a few news articles that I could give you guys a video on, so we'll talk about that. And then Monday Night Raw review tonight following the show. I am JD. Thank you guys so much. This is going to be seen by a lot of people, man. Let's aim for 2,000 thumbs up. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow for OTS Extra. I'll talk to you later.